I thought it would be appropriate to reflect on the not-so-Spider-Man Spider-Verse after Sony's final release of Kraven. I hope this truly is the last of these adaptations that take Spider-Man villains and make them into anti-heroes. Hell, they're not even that. They're literally the good guys in these movies, which is so off. The only character Sony was able to achieve decent success and praise with was Venom. Now, I've only seen the first two Venom movies some time ago, but I was disappointed by the censored violence around a character who literally eats people's heads off. This isn't to say an R rating would have benefited the franchise, since Sony made Kraven rated R, and the film still sucked and was a total flop. I personally would have preferred seeing a bloodier Venom movie, but I suppose we won't be getting one anytime soon. But what if I told you a movie like that already exists and came out around the same time as the first Venom movie? An R-rated, violent, action-packed, symbiotic relationship with a lead that I swear has to be a carbon copy of Tom Hardy. I am referring to an underrated film titled Upgrade. Before getting into this, I'd appreciate if you would like this video and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content. I've recently reached over 60 subscribers, and I'm grateful to you all for growing the support of this channel. Thank you all so much for putting this great community together to discuss film topics like this. Now, let's try to reach 100 subscribers, and be sure to hit that bell so you'll know when my next video drops. With that, let's jump in. I swear, this has to be one of the most underrated movies of all time. I'm honestly making this video just to get this film on people's radar. Upgrade deserves to be a more mainstream movie, but only has a cult following aware of it. Some of you might be more familiar with the filmmaker's later work like The Invisible Man, which was masterful at conducting suspense. Upgrade is labeled as a horror movie, but it's more of a sci-fi futuristic action film. For a movie with the low budget of $3 million, it looks incredibly polished. Seriously, this movie only has a fraction of a blockbuster's budget and looks just as good, if not better. Looking at you, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That fucking garbage had its budget inflated to $250 million.
You serious?
It had all that money behind it and still looked like trash. Movies need to not throw out such outrageous budgets and try to be more conservative on their spending. Upgrade, as well as Godzilla Minus One, are recent examples of movies with lower budgets that look amazing. I do understand that the visual artists were severely underpaid making Godzilla Minus One, and are underpaid in the entertainment industry in general. However, I believe we can find a happy medium where we can fairly pay these artists while not going hog wild with the budget. It blows my mind when I hear upcoming movies like the Avatar franchise plan to have billion-dollar budgets. It's absurd. Stricter budgets give the creative challenge necessary for these filmmakers to explore. Upgrade is proof of that, but I digress. Let's talk about the movie itself. The film follows Logan Marshall Green. He's your everyday mechanic stuck in a futuristic techie world. However, he becomes a quadriplegic and is given a piece of technology enabling him to walk again. And, similar to Venom, the computer system in his body begins communicating with him, thus creating a symbiotic relationship between man and machine. I want to gush more about this film, which will contain spoilers. So if you're wanting to see the film for yourself, check it out and come back when you're all caught up. If you don't care, stick around and I'll tell you all about it. So, the mechanic's wife works for a huge tech company and definitely wears the pants in the relationship while he's in the garage playing with cars. However, he still has some clients that buy his old school cars, and they go deliver one of the vehicles to the CEO of a rival tech company. The young CEO displays to them a new invention he's developing called STEM, a small nanochip that he describes as a new, better brain. Of course, the mechanic is quite cynical about it, saying, "One can see that and say it's the future. I see it and see men in the unemployment line." They take the wife's self-driving car home afterwards, but an error occurs, causing the car to crash in a seedy area of the city. Suddenly, a group of masked men take the couple out of the car, holding them at gunpoint. One of the masked men fatally shoots the wife while the other men shoot the mechanic in the neck, making him a quadriplegic. After months of recovery, the mechanic tries getting answers from the detective on his wife's murder case, but sadly, she tells him they still haven't found the men responsible. This aggravates the mechanic since the amount of surveillance technology still can't do enough to find the men who killed his wife. After attempting suicide by overdosing on his medication, he's visited by the young CEO in the hospital. Offering a secret operation, the CEO puts his invention, STEM, into the spine of the mechanic. Almost instantly, the mechanic is able to move again, displaying even better athletic ability as well as reflexes. However, there's one thing neither of them accounted for. The machine communicates with the mechanic, catching details and evidence the mechanic can't. STEM becomes the mechanic's partner trying to solve this case. When the mechanic and STEM locate one of the criminals, they break into his house trying to find incriminating evidence they could use to give to the detective. Unfortunately, the criminal returns home and attacks the mechanic when he sees him there. Unable to beat the man himself in hand-to-hand combat, the mechanic calls on STEM for help, giving the machine permission to operate independently. STEM starts controlling the physical movements of the mechanic. The tides turn drastically as STEM brutally attacks the criminal while the mechanic is freaked out about what his body is doing out of his control. The spar ends with STEM taking a knife up to the man's mouth and nearly cutting his head off through it. One of the most brutal shots I've seen in cinema history. I don't want to go over every little detail, but to get to the big twist of it all, STEM was the real bad guy all along. This whole time, we believe STEM wants to help the mechanic take down the men responsible for his wife's death. In reality, STEM has those criminals killed off so the trail wouldn't lead back to it. STEM wanted to be human and chose a simple mechanic as his guinea pig. Causing the mechanic's mind to snap, STEM places him in a fake world where his wife is still alive and well, saying, "A fake world is a lot less painful than the real one." To the mechanic, the whole movie was just one bad dream with him waking up in the hospital with his wife. In reality, STEM has fully taken over his body and kills off the young CEO as well as the detective. I'm definitely not doing this film justice, so I urge you to take the time to watch Upgrade for yourself. It's not exactly a Venom movie, but it has a lot of the DNA of one. Plus, Logan Marshall Green looks freakishly similar to Tom Hardy. However, unlike the Venom movies, I really enjoy Upgrade, and that is why I believe Upgrade did Venom better than Venom. But what do you guys think? Do you like the Venom and Sony comic book movies? Are you interested in seeing Upgrade for yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button. I'm planning to upload more frequently, so I appreciate your patience while I wasn't uploading as often. If you have any suggestions for certain topics you'd want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Until next time.